Okay, so this is the start. We're gonna learn how to do materials, the Cinema 4D. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to, well, let's make ourselves a little scene. So I'll make a box, get my floor going, control click. So we wanna have something nice to light. Control click. 90. All right, cool. So I got my little room setup going. Gonna have a cylinder in here. Gonna have a torus in here. Now you ain't gotta do this with me or anything. I'm just populating this room, and I'll do like a couple of sphere. All right. And let's put something else in there. And let's do a figure, all right? Just because. All right. So we're gonna make some materials to go on this, right? So the materials we're gonna make are called node materials. So I'm gonna click on create materials and new node material. So I click on this, it says node. I can change the name here. So what I would do actually is always change the name first. Actually, let's do this. Let's name it, I'm gonna name it walls. So I'm gonna double click here. Walls, right? So what I'm gonna do now is double click on this and this thing comes up. And this is your node editor, right? This shows your material and the different components of the material. So if I click on this right here, it says diffuse. What diffuse means is color, right? This is like, I guess for the Maya people, this is like a Arnold shader, but I guess we can also do this in Maya, but a lot of the stuff would be within the shader. And this right here, it's like a layering system. And I'll show you what I mean. Right now, it's just a raw color, right? So this material right here, which is this is like the end of it. So we're gonna do a bunch of stuff to add colors and everything else to it, and this is what's gonna be represent our what we put on our objects. Matter of fact, I'll take it right now, and I'll put it on my floor, and yeah. So I just clicked on it and dragged it on there, and which puts it over here. So, okay, so this is how it works. If I click on this right here and go to, I like to click down and you can click here and this updates and it basically shows you, what's going on. So if I want like a little nice warm color from our walls, I have it right here and we can see it update here. Now, if I wanted to, let's say, add a texture to this. No, make it shiny, let's say, right? I'll show you, this is what's going on. Right now, if I, well, here's a quick thing. Let me do this instead. So this is a regular material. If I double click on it, we see this right here, right? So there's color, diffuse, luminance, transparency. And so this means the color of the object. This is like brightness. Transparency means like if it's opaque, like glass. Reflectance is how much it reflects. And the rest of these not so important. Bump gives it like texture. So it's kind of like a layering system. And I guess there's no better way than to show you. this way. So if I click on this, now if I want to make this shiny, I will go to add, click on this little arrow right here, go to surface and BSDF, right? So what happens is this is like two different layers. So right now this is saying, hey, this is connected to this color and this white color. Matter of fact, let's click on this and make it something else. Let's make it like, I don't know, green, right? So because this is called diffuse one, this is a green, and this is like a tan. So this is basically saying this is the first color on top, and this is the color on the bottom. So because this is diffuse one, all right, if I reduce it, it starts to show the other color. So it's like a Photoshop thing where it's like a layer on top of a layer. So that's how you have to think about these. So these are two colors on top of each other. If I put it right here at 50% to kind of let some of the other color through, now we see that other color, right? Now, if I take this diffuse and I click it and I drag it down to make this one now on top, and I click on here, then the opposite happens. So I hope you all get what's happening. It's two colors on top of each other. I'm just like erasing one by reducing its opacity, all right? So what if I want to make this look kind of shiny, right? So let's say I wanted to make it look green and shiny. I'll click on this and well, of course I could just switch up the color, click on here and make this one green, or I can just like switch the order again, right? Which would just be me clicking on this and dragging up. You see how the wires switch? You don't have to move it like this, but you can. Oh, and these right here. So this is a node. It holds information. So these are the parameters. Um, if you want to collapse it, you can just double click and it gets smaller, or you can like click right here. And this right here is basically saying show all inputs. So showing all of the inputs that it can go into, or you can like collapse it. So you can just double click or click on these right here. I think this right here is a range. So if we click on this, it like helps arrange it if it gets like too wild or something. So it's useful. All right, so let's make this shiny. So this is my color, all right? As we can see, and you know what we can do? We can say, type on this, we can say, diffuse just means color in 3D, but we can say green, green color, right? And this one right here, we want to make it shiny. So let's say, I'll just type after it. You don't have to do this, just saying, just for sake of this tutorial. So, okay, so I want to make this shiny. So I click on this and I go to this BSDF type. And instead of making it diffuse, which is a color, I'll make it a GGX, which is like a reflectance kind of thing, right? And as we can see right here, we can see how it's now looking like a mirror, right? Now let me go over to my object. Now here's something interesting with this. If you press this right here, it shows you the material, basically this part of the material in the viewport. So now I'm just seeing the green. This is the total color, right? So this is everything in the end. If you click off of it, so if it's yellow, that means it's showing the node that it's on in the viewport. So now this is saying, oh yeah, this is our shininess, right? So that's why it looks like a mirror. It's actually looking at like there's like an invisible light in this, which is outdoor scene, and yeah, that's why it's reflecting like this. So now we see that it's here, but it doesn't look shiny, right? That's because we need to let one of these through, right? So if I turn this down, the opacity of the green, now we have a shiny green color. So right now it has S, that's why it's still showing this right here. But if I click it on this one, or just off, you know, now it's got like a green shininess, right? All right. And we can, of course, adjust this. So I'm letting some of it through with this. And then if let's say I wanted to make this not so glassy, what I can do is I can go to roughness. So I'm in my diffuse. So, and also this right here, it has everything added up, right? So this, if I need to like look at diffuse, I mean the shininess or the color, I can just like click right here, or I can just go to the individual node, right? So I'll click on diffuse shiny and I'll click on roughness, right? And the more roughness I give it, the more rough it's looking. Now, just to teach you a little bit about shading, there's something called specular, and specular is like the whitest most part of an object. So this right here is what you call the specular reflection. And when things reflect and they're really shiny, they have like a sharp specular reflection. And when things are matte, they kind of, the reflection is spread out more along the object. So it's like one part when it's super shiny, and then when things are like matte, it's the light reflecting and then spreading, right? So that's what's happening here. So I'm giving it roughness to give it that kind of look. And yeah, so if we want to see what it looks like, we need to add some lights. So our first light we're going to add is our Pbr light, right? So I'm going to click on this, and now we have a light in our scene. And you can see how it's working. You can see like the fall off and everything. And of course, if you don't want to see it, you can click on the X. Now it's disabled. Now it's enabled. All right. Now we want to see what this render looks like. So this is our viewport. Well, let's see what a viewport render looks like real quick. If I click on this. Ooh, my thing blacked out. Let me see if it happens again. Okay, so now that I'm like this, I clicked on this button and it gave me a viewport render. Now, if I click, it'll take me back to this. Now, let's say I want to render in my picture viewer. I just click and hold. Well, actually, I think I just click one time. Now it's in my picture viewer. Cool. And we see the effect of our light. But we're on a certain renderer right now, and that's like our default renderer. What we want to do is be on physical. So I'll click on this, which is our render settings. When you see the gear icon, just like on the phone, and I'll go to physical. All right. Now let's see what this render looks like. Let's compare it to the last one. Last one looks a little bit more grainy. Okay. So the two things we need to do to make this look good, we need to add ambient occlusion. So I'll go to click on effect right here, add ambient occlusion. And let's look at the effect that ambient occlusion has. And ambient occlusion is when two surfaces, it's the distance between two surfaces. And just to show you this, ambient occlusion is, let me go here. Ambient occlusion. Yeah. So it's like when two surfaces come together, it gets darker. So in this area, it's a lot darker because these two surfaces are together. But in this area, it's lighter because they're spread apart. And it's kind of, yeah, this is basically what we call ambient occlusion. Okay. So we're going to add the darkness into the scene with adding in the ambient occlusion effect. So let's go back. So ambient occlusion, let's see what the result is. Okay, so we have regular, not that much difference, but we can see a difference, right? It's not that much, but it's there and it matters. Okay. Our other thing is, what do you call it? Global illumination. So this is like a bounce light. It's kind of like the way lights work is this light will emit a ray and then it'll bounce off something, it'll bounce off another thing, it'll bounce off, and it'll do that until it eventually just like gets so small that it doesn't make a visual impact on anything. So this is how, like my window, I have a large window, how the light from outside can come in, and from like I can have no lights on right now in the daytime, but yet I can go into 2 rooms and still see because the bounced light is bounced off of this wall, that wall, of everything, and it allows me to still see in, you know, certain areas. But of course, the farther away I get from the window, the more the light decays. All right. So let's see what this effect has. And we can see things look a little bit different here. It's calculating differently. I move my view. Okay. Not that much of a difference. Well, it's hard to see because I moved my view. But there is a slight difference. Okay, so this is this was a Pbr. Yeah, Pbr light. Okay. So the way how these lights work is same way as anything else. We can press T, or we can click on it, you know, and get its like its scale here. But you know, we could also press T and just do it like this. So have my light. Back it up. Now let's set up a camera just so we can have something to look at. I'll go like this. I'll click on my camera. Now I'm going to lock my camera, right click. What was it? Yeah, rigging tags, protection. So now this thing is locked. Oh, wait, let me click on it. Yeah, now I'm in my camera and it's locked. I can't move it. I click this, now I can move around. All right, so let's get in our camera, make a quick test render. Perfect. All right. Now what I'm going to do is just make my scene a little more interesting. I'm going to take a plane. All right. I'm pressing T to scale. Scaling this thing out. Super large like this, at least. Now what I'm going to do is use a compositing tag, because what I want is I want that this plane right here. I'll do a quick render. I want this plane to just help me bounce some more light off of everything. Okay, but I don't want to see the plane. And so here's how you render like the shadows off of something, but not see it. You right click on the plane, go to, where is it? Compositing tag, and you click off of scene by camera. So now when I render this, it should affect my scene, but you won't be able to see it. So here's the old one. Yeah. All right. So just so you know, that's something you can do. Okay. So this is one light type, but there's another one we can make for overall, yeah, just make our global illumination really stand out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide this light. I'll click on the X. Now we're going to make a dome light. To do that, we're going to click on this, click on sky. Actually, let's see what sky looks like by itself without any light source in it. I'll click on this. All right. So we see what it looks like with one light. Now we see what it looks like with the skylight. Now let's give ourselves a HDRI. And what that is a picture that They take up a location, wrap it around a sphere so you can get like lights, I mean reflected. You can get like all the lights in your environment in kind of one texture. So let me add this. So I'll do that. I'll just double click down here because this is just going to be our HDRI. I'll just type in HDRI, all right? So I'll double click on this. These parameters come up. I'll double click on this again to get this. So what you want to do is unclick color, unclick reflectance. You want to go to luminance, click on this. Now I have an HDRI. I'm going to get one right now. I'll stop sharing. I'll go over here. I'll get my favorite HDRI. So that is Shanghai Nights HDRI. Or you can just go to free HDRI. I just always like this one. So I go to images. It's this one right here. This site is called HDRI Haven. I think there are free HDRIs here, but this one's definitely free. So it's called Shanghai, or I guess Shanghai Bundle or Shanghai Nights. I'm gonna go get 2K. Click on this. It's downloading. Now I go back to cinema, right? So I'm in my luminance tab. Remember, when it's 3 dots, that means a file. Click on this. I'll go find my downloads, Shanghai. I'm just gonna click no on this. What that does is that just creates a folder where this texture goes, and yeah. All right, so luminance is right here. I have my texture in here. It's good to go. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this, drag it over here to the sky and let it go, all right? Now what you're gonna see is this. Now this is the HDRI. It's all those lights from that texture wrapped around here. So it looks kind of blurry. That's because it puts it in at a low default resolution to view the picture. I'll make that make more sense. If I go here, I click on viewport, texture preview size. So this is the texture that's on here. I'll click on this, go to 2048, right? Now when I look at it, it looks crispier, right? And if I got the higher resolution one, it'll look even more crispy. But this will be fine for this because we're just getting the illumination. So this is somewhere in Shanghai at night. They took a picture of a chrome sphere and we can see the, you know, everything. I like looking at these sometimes when they're foreign countries, you know, kind of cool. Well, anyway, let's get back to this. So let me get back in my camera right now. Now let's see what this render looks like with this HDRI. Looking a lot different, right? So let's look at this. Well, let's first look at this. Oh, right. I like going through. It's like, ugh. All right. Okay. Getting a little better. All right. Ooh, yeah, nice. Right. So it just always gets better. Adds HDRI. Now, because of if we can look at this, we see that the lighting, I guess, is really strong from this area over here. So we should rotate this sky dome, right? And to do that, let's go to position Y. Oh, no, wait. I don't think that's the way you do it. Actually, we need to get out of here. So let me make sure I'm doing this right. That's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. This is the right one, right? So moving this H rotates this. So we'll get a different look, right? Depending on how this is rotated. So let's take another one, right? So here's our old one. We can see the shadow coming down. Let's see what this one's look like, okay? Yeah. So that's what is going on. All right. So as you can see how lighting works. Oh, and let's say we want to turn down the luminance of this. Like let's say it's too bright. I can just double click on here, go to luminance, and go to mix strength, and let's go to multiply, and we'll just take it down. So if we take it to 50%, let's see what the look looks like, what the lighting looks like. So 100%, 50%. All right. So that's how you would control the brightness of it. All right. So let's make some more materials. That's our wall. I want to make a floor. So I'll go create materials, new node material. Tap, tap on it to open up this. Now I want to make a floor, and I want to make a floor with a wood texture, right? So I'll click on this, which is my what you call it, my default, which is my color. Actually, let's change this to make it say floor. What is it? It's now I need to bring in my photo. So there's two ways to do it, right? Because right now I want to get some wood and make a wood floor. So I'm just gonna okay. Let me now go over here. I'll go to wood, find wood. And I'll get myself a, I'll just do this. All right. I download this. Now I can drag that straight into the program. Or I can put it in like this. I click on this right here, this little dot, and then I go to load texture, right? So now I'll find my wood that I just made. Let me download it. Just click on no. And this is what happens, right? As soon as I connect to that file, then this comes in. So this is our wood right here. I don't know why it's not showing up. Yeah, see? Not sure why I can't see it though. Let me select something else. Oh, maybe I need to press yes there. I don't know. All right, so I'll do this again. I'll go here, go to my downloads. That would press yes. Okay, now we see it. Right, so now this is on here. I will take this, drag it onto my floor. Now let's see what's it's looking like. Okay, I'm gonna turn my HDRI up again. So I'll click on luminance. I'll just take this all the way to 100. And I think I'm gonna rotate this. I don't know, let's say 90. Okay. And if you don't want to see this HDRI, you just do the same thing as we did before with compositing. You right click. Actually, I'm not going to go into that yet. Yeah, so this is how we started off. And let's just make some more materials real quick. So I'll go to create. And also, if you want to just create like a single material, we can go to node material presets. And let's say we do something like plastic, right? So now this is my plastic, and I just come in here, and if I wanted to add a texture on top of this, I could, or I can just like use its settings for plastic and use that as plastic. So I'll just take this. Ooh, I was just about to drag it onto the picture. Um, so I can click. What's going on here? All right, yeah, click on this, on my plastic, do a render. Now it looks grainy because of our quality settings, right? I don't know how fast this will go on your computer, but let me do one. Now I just need to look at it in the viewport. I just want to get like a nice. See what I'm going for? You see how the light moves right there? Just trying to get it in the corner, kind of. All right. Then I'm going to add in this light now. So I'll click on my light right here. It's a little bit overblown, right? So let's take the intensity down to like 50% or something. And we'll give it a shot or render. You can see how the effect is a little bit stronger over here because I added in that light. So now we have two lights in our scene, which will take a little bit longer, just a little bit. But the more lights, the more geometry, the longer these things start to take. Okay. So we're seeing what's happening. I'm just clicking the down arrow. Let's make another one. Let's make a couple more of these node materials. Let's do metal. Put it on our sphere. Play. And so this would be for the node materials. You could use that or make up your own for certain things like that you won't see, like, I don't know, um, a knob or a handle or something like that. So you don't have to UV everything. So it's coming along. I think I'm gonna stop this one. Yeah, I want to stop it. Now this texture is a bit large, so let me double click on it and let's see if there's a way that we can duplicate it. This. It's a scaling feature. Yeah, I don't want to spend too much time trying to find this. So what I'm trying to find is here. But there's a way to duplicate this to like scale the texture up. To like multiply how many times it's there. Yeah, I don't want to spend too much time. But yeah, this is how you would use this node editor. So basically, yeah, this is what you're using, and you put your textures on your objects, and yeah, you would edit them here. I'm going to, let me stop this.